Hello, good morning and welcome to Newsdesk. We're live on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 125. We're streaming across all our social media handles. We are Joe News on TV. Coming up this morning, fresh financial statements leaked by MP for Norton Okucheto Ablakwa shows Labadi Beach Hotel is financially stable, contrary to SSNIT's narrative that the hotel was struggling, hence the decision to sell 60% of its stake. We'll unpack the document here on Newsdesk. We have more as President Akufo-Addo directs the employment minister to engage organized labor over their opposition to the sale of 4 hotels to a Greek minister's Rock City Hotel.
That we needed to engage him on this. He has referred it to the minister to start the engagement with us.
Also in this bulletin, scores of frustrated first-time voters urge the Electoral Commission to once again extend the limited voter registration deadline.
But I would, urge that the EC at least extend the deadline again, because there are more people out there that haven't registered.
We have details of these stories and more here on Newsdesk. Take a seat, be my guest. Thanks for choosing us. We're a home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. Well, President Akufo-Addo has directed Employment Minister Ignatius Bamfoiwa to engage organized labor over the opposition to the sale of 4 hotels to a Greek minister's Brian Echampong City Hotel, Rock City Hotel. Well, that's according to the Secretary General of the Trades Union Congress, Dr. Yabwa, whose outfit would be holding a crucial meeting with SSNIT board today. Listen to him.
The new information, if you want, is that we are going to meet with the SSNIT board tomorrow. Organized labor leaders are going to meet with SSNIT board tomorrow in the morning. In the afternoon, we are going to meet with the Minister for Employment, who is also in charge of pensions. We wrote to the President that we needed to engage him on this. He has referred it to the Minister to start the engagement with us. We are hoping that these engagements will help all of us to find a solution to what we think is a problem. So these engagements will give us the solution. In my opinion, I'm happy.
Because we understand the processes are still underway to give out these hotels to Brian Echampong.
What I'm saying is that it's not a worry. We have to engage. The law has given the power to the board to decide what we use the SSNIT funds for. Now, when we expressed our concern, the board wrote to us to say, yes, we have seen your letter and we want to engage. So tomorrow morning, we are engaging the board. Tomorrow afternoon, we are engaging the minister who is in charge of pensions. And I'm saying that I'm very confident that together we will find a solution to what we think is a problem.
So what's your major expectation from that meeting?
My major expectation is that we will find a solution to what we think is a problem. They should not worry. The leaders are engaging all the important stakeholders in this. First, we want to make sure SSNIT is sustainable so that everybody who is contributing to SSNIT, say at the age of 20, in the next 40 years that they will retire, SSNIT will be able to pay their pensions. Every worker should have the confidence that we are engaging those who are in charge of SSNIT, and we will make sure SSNIT is sustainable and there will be no time that you retire and SSNIT cannot pay your pension.
Well, we're keeping an eye on that engagement with SSNIT, but we have fresh financial statements leaked by MP for Norton Okejesu Ablakwa, which shows that Labadi Beach Hotel is financially stable. Now, this is contrary to SSNIT's narrative that the hotel was struggling, hence the decision to sell 60% of its stake. Now, let's unpack the document. Kwekwa Asante joins me in the studio with a breakdown of how far we have come. Let's start from the beginning and the declaration of dividends and why SSNIT is actually deciding to sell these hotels.
So SSNIT is selling 4 hotels, and it's such a big issue that have come up for quite some time. Brian Champon is at the heart of this controversy. There are about 6 different hotels that are causing all of these. So if you can start right from the very top in terms of these graphics that are now coming in. So these are the timelines of events. Brian Champon, the Agri Minister, at the center of this. And SSNIT says they want to develop these hotels into a world-class hotel, world-class standards. If you go to Dubai, the kind of hotels you have there, that is the kind of hotels they want to do.
That's the reason they're providing.
One of the reasons.
For wanting to sell.
They want capital injection. So we say these hotels are struggling. SSNIT itself does not have enough money to invest in these hotels, so they want to inject some more cash into this. And they want to assist in hotel management. They want to get modern hotel management to come in to raise the profile of these hotels. So these are some of the reasons that have been offered by SSNIT. If you can go to the next slide. So these are the 6 hotels that are under the portfolio of SSNIT that are initially SSNIT wanted to sell them. There's the Labadi Beach Hotel. Almost everyone in Accra know about this. It's here in Accra. 5-star leisure hotel, has 164 rooms. There's also the La Palm Royal Beach Hotel. It is just by Labadi Beach Hotel here in Accra. A 4-star hotel, 152 rooms. Elmina Beach Resort in Elmina, in the central region, a 3-star hotel with 100 rooms. Ridge Royal Hotel, Cape Coast, 3-star hotel, 79 rooms. The Buswa Beach Resort in Buswa, 3-star hotel, 62 rooms. And then the Trust Lodge Hotel, which is in Takrady, a multi-purpose hospitality block structure with 10 rooms.
But why was this number scaled down to 4?
Well, apparently, according to Brian Champon, the last 2 hotels are not doing so well, and he does not want to buy them.
Beach Resort.
That is the Buswa Beach Resort and Trust Lodge Hotel. But the first 4, he thinks these are hotels they can really turn around, for which reason his hotel, Rock City, has been bidding to get them bought. So that is the lowdown on these 4 hotels and what they are. Let's go to the next slide. If you look at Labadi Beach Hotel in particular, it is jointly built in 1991 by London Africa Hotels, Ashanti Goldfields and SSNIT, at the time owning 22.5% stake. It's a 5-star hotel, like I told you earlier on. Currently, SSNIT owns it completely. That means they bought the shares of Africa Hotels and Ashanti Goldfields, and it's completely owned by SSNIT.
And they want to sell 60% stake on that.
Of this. And if you look at 2021 alone, SSNIT got 10 million Ghana cedi from Labadi Beach Hotel alone. 10 million cedis in dividends as the sole shareholder. That's how much they paid. In 2022, they paid 25 million, and that is unprecedented. None of the hotels that is owned by SSNIT have paid 25 million Ghana cedis as dividend to shareholders. So that is it when it comes to Labadi Beach Hotel. So that is the dividends they've declared to SSNIT. Next, if you also look at the criteria that SSNIT laid out in selecting which strategic investor, which strategic hotel they want to help them manage these assets. They want relevant credentials in hotel industry. They want source of proof of funding. If you are coming in to inject fund, you need to show that you have money. And you need to also have an experience in owning hotels, experience in managing hotels, and experience in development of real estate. And these are some of the questions that have been asked about Rock City Hotel. Rock City itself, founded in 2019. Do they have all these, do they meet these criteria that SSNIT itself set out to be able to do that? Next. And so if you look at the specifics, these are the hotels. You look at SSNIT funding ratio. The amount SSNIT has been investing in some of these hotels, 3.2%, down to 2.6 to 2%, 2.74%. Then it's currently hovering around 2.46%. That is the SSNIT funding ratio in these hotels. Next. So the timelines for where we are now. In November 2018, the search for transaction advisor started. In January of 2019, just around the time that Brian Rock City Hotel was coming upstream, 6 or 15 firms were shortlisted and issued with RFPs. And then in February 2022, the search for a strategic partner began. 9 companies sent proposals in March of 2022 to be considered for this. And this is some of the timelines that we are getting to next. Yeah. So 41%, if you look at the board of SSNIT, there are 12 members on the SSNIT board. 5 of them are literally persons that are so much related to organized labor.
And that's the concern people have been raising about organized labor. Yeah. You are raising concerns that you were not involved in the decision-making process, and now you are actually part of the board. So it raises question as to if you've been attending board meetings.
Exactly. If you have almost 5 persons, because you can take out Benjamin Isuman a little bit, but these 4 persons are SSNIT representatives on the board. And all these could not go ahead without it. There's John Amigashi, Joshua Ansa, a Deputy TUC Secretary General, Evans Jikum, Ivan Aso, and Benjamin Isuman is the rep of SSNIT Pensioners Association. That is SSNIT pensioners, people who have worked at SSNIT themselves. And these are all persons literally representing organized labor on there and didn't quite seem to have flagged it until Okujoto Ablakwa himself did flag this. Let's go to the next slide.
Oh, interesting.
Yes. So this is the general SSNIT board, Elizabeth Ekiohene, a former journalist at Graphic. She's now the board chair, Emmanuel Dusa Akodier, and all that. The 4 organized labor reps
strong
are all
people
there.
on the board.
Strong persons. Elizabeth Ohene, a strong critic of the then NDC government, wrote a lot of articles. Abino Siansari is currently a Minister of State at the Finance Ministry, now representing the Ministry of Finance on the board as Pensioners Association.
So out of 8 members of the board, 4 members are from the organized labor.
Yes. In fact, the other persons that are statutory. So the Director General himself is there. There's the Company Secretary. There's the Ministry of Finance. And then there are ministerial, the President's nominee, and others. So these are the persons who make up the SSNIT board. The 4 organized labor reps we've shown you in the previous slide. Next. So all 6 hotels are not in the same financial position and should not be sold together. These are the concerns people have raised. That the proposal to sell these 6 hotels has now been reduced to 4, as we know. So the process is null and void. And the proposed payment terms are different from what was agreed with a transaction advisor. These are some of the concerns some of the Okujoto Ablakwa and others have shared. Due diligence, again, was not done, and state properties should not be sold to a Minister of State. A Minister of State who is a member of Cabinet should not be buying state assets.
And that's why Ablakwa is hoping to raise that on the floor of Parliament should the House reconvene, because he says he's pushing for a motion where any member of Parliament or a Minister of State cannot buy any state-owned property.
Definitely. If you are politically exposed persons, then you should not be buying state assets. That is the consensus, and we expect that on June 11, when Parliament resumes, he will probably come in there with his private members bill. So
let's look at the profiles.
These are of Labadi Beach Hotel.
No, this is
Rock City Hotel. Yes, as you see, Rock City Hotel. And the construction began in 2008, and the hotel partly opened in 2019. The hotel has been operational for approximately 5 years since 2019 when it opened. It will be 5 years proper at the end of this year. They have over 600 rooms available, and there's an ongoing expansion which will result in Rock City Hotel becoming one of the largest hotels in Africa with over 2,200 rooms. That is what Rock City aims to become. We founded in 2019, and that is the specifics of what we've been able to know. Let's go to the next slide. That is Rock City Hotel. It is owned by Brian Achampon, right? Who is the Minister for Agric as of May 21st, 2024, and indeed, as of now, he's still the Minister for Food and Agriculture. He owns the company, but he's a non-executive director. That is in company law. He's not involved in the day-to-day running of the company. He says he's not part of the functional role of the company. He does not occupy any office of the company that conflicts with his ministerial rules as per the Constitution of the Republic. And as far as he's concerned, that should not be a big issue because he's not involved in the day-to-day administration. So Rock City Hotel has about 5 branches. They are in Kwehu, principally. They aim to be in Takrade. They want to be in Cape Coast. They want to go back to Kumasi, and they want to be in Adan as well. They want to really open their tentacles, but it's headquartered at Kwehu Nketia, where they have these specifics there. So let's go to the next slide. If you look at SSNIT and how it is doing, the contributions they are receiving and the benefits they are paying, obviously, the contributions are very much higher compared to how much they're paying to workers, because it is a contributing scheme every month. You and I, we are not yet retired, but we are contributing every month, and so that is going up, and it's come up about their financial strength. Let's do the next slide. The new investment income, the kind of money they've been investing. As of now, they are doing around 473.4 billion Ghana cedis. And that is the kind of money SSNIT is investing in all of these
portfolios. The concerns of organized labor about the financial strength of SSNIT and if they can pay their contribution long term, is it legitimate? It
is, because just a few months ago, you will recall that the ILO report that said that if SSNIT does not take care in the next few years, in fact, in the next decade, they may not be able to pay contributions of workers. It's because of some of the investment that they've gone to do. The investments are not quite yielding the dividends that would have been expected. But SSNIT did a news conference, which I attended, where they've been offering explanations that, listen, that is just a projection. There is actually no cause for concern, and that they believe that ultimately in the next 1 decade, they will be able to pay the pension of contributors. There are surplus and deficits and all that. So let's get right into these new leaked documents.
Exactly, because that is quite crucial. Yes. And it has the financial statement for Labadi Beach Hotel for the past decade.
Yes.
And so break it down for us.
Yes. So Ablakwa has been serializing this over the last few hours coming into today, management reports and all that. In fact, if you look at the financial position of SSNIT as we speak now, not SSNIT, Labadi Beach Hotel. Labadi Beach Hotel has 54 million Ghana cedis. In fact, almost 55 million cedis. 54.8 million Ghana cedis sitting in 5 different bank accounts. And these are reserves. These are not monies that they are using to run the bank. It is just a reserve position of Labadi Beach Hotel, 55 million Ghana cedis. And Ablakwa position is that if you have a bank that has 55 million Ghana cedis sitting in bank accounts as just reserves, you should not be selling off that bank. Especially when you are selling off to a bank or a hotel that will probably use proceeds from this hotel to just come and pay you back. It's like a Ponzi scheme. So you sell the hotel to the person. The payment terms are such that they pay, say, 30% or 40%, and then they run a hotel for a few years. They can recoup their investment using the hotel and come and pay you back. So that is literally handing over the hotel to them at free. He says that is not making sense to him. And then Labadi Beach Hotel from 2022, the Lloyd financial statement, had a turnover of 120 million Ghana cedis. That is, in 2022, when the bank ran the turnover, that is before they pay taxes, before they pay the employees, they made 120 million Ghana cedis. And from the 2023 management account,
on the concerns that has been raised by SSNIT that
definitely
this hotel is struggling.
It's struggling.
The main reason why they decided to sell 60% stake.
Exactly. And this is a hotel that has worked in a year and has 120 million Ghana cedis. Ablakwa's position is that how many companies in Ghana, bar the likes of MTN and other big multinational companies, how many of them make 120 million Ghana cedis a year? And that was in 2022. In 2023, the bank made, the hotel made 188 million Ghana cedis. That is the turnover. But they pay taxes, they pay their employees, they do all that, and then they get profits. Let me get to the profit. Labadi Beach in 2022 posted a gross profit of 70 million Ghana cedis, which doubled in 2023 to 158 million Ghana cedis. That is the gross profit. That is before they pay their taxes. And then let's get into before payment of their taxes. And then in dividends, in the last 5 years, Labadi Beach Hotel has paid 20 million Ghana cedis to government. And there are so many government investments that are not able to pay 20 million Ghana cedis to government. And so this is a company that has made 150 million Ghana cedis in gross profits in 2023 alone. Getting into 2023, how much are you selling it for? Okututa Ablakwa this morning, putting out these documents, says it just does not make sense that you sell them. Instead, if there are a few of these hotels that are struggling, like Buswa Beach, for instance, why not learn from the best practices of Labadi Beach Hotel? Probably get into a management contract, let Labadi Beach give some of the expertise to La Palm Royal Beach, for instance, which is just neighboring, so that they can get some of the ideas and run them into profitability instead of just lumping them up together and selling them off.
Thank you so much, Kweku Asante. Now, in subsequent bulletin, we'll be unpacking this document and also getting a response from the man at the center of all this, which is Norton MP Samuel Kuchetu Ablakwa. Well, he's been a crusader against this deal, and he's also served notice that he would lead a section of the public who are opposed to the transaction to demonstrate on the 18th of June.
I want us to scale up the public agitation, ratchet up the pressure, and get all of these public officials who are clearly not acting in our interests. They should listen to the outrage, the public anger, and stop what they are doing. But they are refusing to. So, in compliance with the Public Order Act, Act 491, I have notified the police that on the 18th of June 2024 at 9 a.m., we shall be leading a public manifestation, a demonstration against this sale. We intend to begin, I've given them the route. We intend to start in front of the Labadi Beach Hotel, proceed through La Palm Royal Beach Hotel, through the ministries, and then end at the Jubilee House, where we intend to present a petition to His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, because these are all his appointees, all of those who are acting, the people selling SSNIT, his cabinet minister who is keen on buying, they are all his appointees. And he told us that if people want to come into his government to do business and to make money, they should know that his government is not the place for them. They should go to the private sector, stay there, and make money. They shouldn't come to the public sector and use public office for personal gain to do business. So I'm wondering what's going on and why it's been more than a week. The TUC has spoken. The Coalition of Civil Society Organizations Against Corruption have spoken. They held a press conference asking the president to directly intervene, to step in. We have heard Professor Yanka, we've heard Dr. Jimandua, and many, many others, you know, from clergy, academia, experts, procurement experts, analysts, many, many people, young people, the workers who are at the risk of losing their jobs in these hotels. And yet the president refuses to speak, and his people are going ahead. So that is the next phase.
We are your election headquarters. Now, scores of frustrated first-time voters are urging the Electoral Commission to once again extend the limited voter registration deadline. Now, despite the additional 2 days added to the original 21-day period, there were long queues at registration centers across the country as first-time voters rushed to get their names captured on the voters' roll. There's more in this report.
Long winding queues characterized the final day of the voter registration process at many centers as first-time voters rushed to get their names captured in the voters' register. In the Ayawaso West Wogon constituency, officials reported registering over 5,000 voters over the entire registration period.
Over here in Legon has been largely successful. The turnout has been good, and then we've been able to register almost everybody that has come to us. So today being the last day, we hope that we'll register everybody and leave. We know that we can do that day. For the projection, I can't give it to you online, but for now we've done about 5,000. Yeah, yes. But most of them, since the first day, the turnout has been great. So mostly when they come and the place is full, they don't want to sit in the queue, they would go.
Just nearby at the La Nkwantanan Medina Constituency Registration Center, there were altercations involving some men who brought in senior high school students for registration. Despite these challenges, the EC official stated that the exercise had been largely successful, promising every person in the queue before the official time of closing will be registered even if it goes beyond past 6 p.m.
It's been a fruitful exercise. It's been very quiet and calm. A few altercations here and there, but it's not something that's disturbed the flow of work here at the center. We are within our expected figure. We were hoping to do a little over 4,000, and we have a little after 12 midday, but I can say that we'll be able to attend to them before 6 p.m. when the center will be closed finally.
Many potential first-time voters at the University of Ghana Center said they had to forgo lectures to register. Similarly, senior high school students reported skipping classes to enroll on the voters' register.
I knew that, I had to come and register today because today was actually the deadline. But I would, urge that the EC at least extend the deadline again, because there are more people out there that haven't registered, especially looking at the diaspora. There are even more people there that do not even know that there is an ongoing process at Legon Hall. So I think that good sensitization would do so that these people can actually come and register.
So I was aware of the 21 days, but then I've had a busy schedule being in between classes and such. So today is the day that I'm free that I'll be able to come and partake in the registration for the voters ID.
Because of the school, I'm a border, so I was not that allowed to be coming out, and I didn't know any place to do my voters ID. That's the main reason why. I'll wait for the next time.
Meanwhile, MP for Ayawaso West Wuogon, Lydia Al-Hassan, and Medina MP Francis Xavier Sosu appealed to the EC to make special provisions for first-time voters who might miss the deadline.
From day one, it's been peaceful, it's been orderly. Yes, we all know what happened the first, second day, but after that, we have had quite a successful process. It's just that the numbers here are many. We are talking about a student population of over 40,000. Most of them are first-time voters. Look at the last day, look at the numbers, and it's been like this from day one. Some sort of a different arrangement is made for us. We have a population of over 40,000, so for me, that is my concern.
Here in Medina, things have been relatively smooth, so we have a few challenges. But as of yesterday, we had a total of about 3,692 that has registered. Today, you can see the numbers. The day is far gone, but the numbers are still increasing, and most of them are students and first-time voters. So we are in talks with the officials of the EC that even if the day ends without them getting the opportunity, whether we either give them some number or we extend the number of hours, they'll be able to stay so we can get everyone here registered before the day is over.
These potential voters are hopeful of exercising their constitutional right in the 2024 general elections and making a difference as they defied the hot sun, stayed in queues, all in a bid to get their identity captured on the National Voters Roll. Rejoice Semefakpesu's report, read to you.
Now, let's bring in the Deputy General Secretary of the Opposition NDC, Mustafa Gbande, and we also have the Deputy General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party to share their views about how the EC has conducted themselves so far as the registration process has come to an end. I'll start with you, Haruna Mohammed. Thank you so much for your time here on Newsdesk. What's your assessment of the Electoral Commission's handling of the voter registration process this year?
I think that we as a party, even though there has been some hitches in this particular exercise, we are very much concerned with the entire process with this particular registration. We have heard several views from the Ghanaian youth who think that they should have been given more opportunity in this particular exercise. Lo and behold, certain things needed to have been done right by the Electoral Commission. If you look at the recruitment of the staff who were to do the registration, there were certain laws that timelines that they had to follow, but this was not very successful, as we all thought, because we needed to cross-check the background of these people. Again, look at the registration centers, where the centers are located. It's supposed to have been gazetted earlier for us to be able to ascertain and make much more education in terms of these particular centers. The Electoral Commission and the NCC also needed to have made several promotional activities to be able to draw the attention of people who have attained the age of 18 to be able to get themselves registered as the Constitution has demanded. This was not also clearly set out, and as a party, we demand that the Electoral Commission stay true to the constitutional provisions of this particular exercise. Again, if you look at the number of people who are left now, we want to urge the Electoral Commission to look at it and ascertain these particular numbers, if there can be something that can be done within a reasonable time to get these people registered. The appeals process within the system, we trust this particular process, but we also call on the Electoral Commission to ensure that there has been fairness that is meted out to all parties and people who have been challenged in this particular process. Lo and behold, in a conclude assessment of this particular exercise, I believe that it has so much been very peaceful in terms of the numbers that we are seeing, in terms of transparency. We in the MPP, we trust the process, and we also want to commend the Electoral Commission, despite the fact that we have raised a number of issues in terms of publicity, publication, in terms of the usage of machines, the stoppage, and then efficiency and efficacy of these machines. We only hope that these data will be compiled and make available to political parties in reasonable time to assess these particular data and compare with the source data that we took from end of day reports and the beginning of day report, to be able to verify and go out there to ensure that this data can truly represent what has been taken from the field.
As a party, you've been actively engaged in helping some of these people register on the voters' roll. You have been touching base with your executives across the country. The people you aided, have they been able to register?
Basically, if you look at the provisions in the CI 126 and CI 91, the parties obviously are in an assistant mood when you are bringing out people to register. It is not mandatory. It is not something that is grounded in law, but we assist people to come out to register. By virtue of what we do is because we need numbers to vote for us. We need people to appreciate the good works of our parties. So we assist people to come out to register. And in that instance, we also incur costs. So this is something we did to support the registration exercise and also to uplift the image of our political parties. We can't get everybody on board. If the Electoral Commission continue the registration exercise over and over, definitely many people still will not go out to register. You know, the law says the Electoral Commission should provide the opportunity for them to register. But it is not compulsory that when the opportunity is provided to you, you should go and register. But this is something that we can all interrogate as time goes on. But we can obviously get everybody to register. But we must get a reasonable number to register. And we are very much satisfied with the kind of mobilization and the people who have come out to register. But as Oliver Twist, we still ask for more if opportunities provided for many other Ghanaians who have attained the age of 18 and other people who have not gotten the time to be able to register, to be given the opportunity. And that is why we support the continuous registration process. If the law is passed, if the CI is laid and it is passed and there's a continuous registration, those who have attained the age of 18 and have their Ghana cards can simply walk to the Electoral Commission's office and get their cards and to be able to make decisions for this country.
So you agree with calls that the 2-day extension wasn't sufficient?
I cannot at this moment assess whether it was sufficient or not. Data has to support my decision to say so. However, in terms of our human nature, I would have wished for it to continue, but I am not also in the budget line of the Electoral Commission to ascertain why there has been a limited extension period. However, in the limited 2 days period, some people have gotten the opportunity to register, which would have ended on the 27th of May. So for me, I would have asked for more, but I am not in the budget line of the Electoral Commission because any extension goes with budget, and I cannot determine for them. And if they so wish that they can be able to support a further extension, I think that we welcome that. If they are not, but we should be able to sit down to analyze and put this data into an informative stage that can be able to provide concrete data for political parties to be able to rely on going into 2024 general elections.
There were pockets of violence at some registration centers. There were also calls by individuals who felt that the EC failed to handle some of these processes rightly. What's the stance of the NPP? What's your assessment of how the EC has handled the registration process so far?
In terms of the violent situations, you know, my good brother in the NDC, that is Mustafa Bandi, on your own program, when you were launching all your programs that we went to Greater Accra, the Metropolitan Assembly area, you know, he made a statement that when the NDC people are going to polling centers, they should go there with machetes and cutlasses. They should go there and destabilize the peace of the place. So eventually when the registration started and they went there with machetes, they went there with guns, and they destabilized the place, it connoted and went directly to represent what my brother has said. You know, I had condemned this particular statement in several instances. We are the only political party that has not come through a revolutionary practice. We have never staged a coup in this country, and we have never practiced violence in terms of political activities in this country. We are the first political party to disband vigilantism, and we are the first government to pass a vigilantism act. So it tells you that the MPP would not in any manner condone violence in this country. We would not in any manner promote violence in this country because it's not part of our training. So if there is violence in any of the registration centers, I believe that we must put that blame strictly onto the NDC because they call for violence. They said we should go with machetes, we should go with guns, we should destabilize the peace. And that is very undemocratic in this country, and we must all condemn that.
Haruna, stay with me. Thankfully, I have the Deputy General Secretary for the NDC, Mustafa Bande, join us here on NewsDesk. Many thanks for your time here. Now, what's your assessment of the Electoral Commission handling of the voter registration process so far?
Thank you very much, and good afternoon to our cherished listeners. First of all, let me, on behalf of the General Secretary of my party, thank the teeming Ghanaians who have queued in spite of all the challenges, having to wait, spend their productive hours in queues to be able to register and to vote. The NDC believe that there will be a change in 2024, and that change must occasioned as a result of a constitutionally, defined measure with a custom.
Mustafa Bande, unfortunately, we're losing
Can you
you.
hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
We believe that the only way to restore hope for this country is through a vote, and we only expect that the Electoral Commission will allow a vote in 2024 to represent the will and mandate of the people. Apart from that, I think that generally we also commend some district officers who have been very professional of the Electoral Commission in terms of how they have conducted themselves. Police officers have also done so well in terms of how they have monitored the exercise. We've had pockets of things to disagree with, but let's proceed with what is positive. I believe that clearly the Electoral Commission has a mandate under law to ensure that registration is accessible to all Ghanaians. It hasn't done so. The registration process is very cumbersome, it's very unincentivizing to the ordinary Ghanaian, and so that is why today we have a lot of people in the queue who have not been able to register. Having said so, I believe that in subsequent activities, the Electoral Commission should not shirk its responsibility to political parties. If political parties become the people or the agents who should be facilitating ordinary Ghanaians in order to register, we will destabilize our democracy, because that is not what the Constitution contemplates. The Constitution solely leaves that responsibility in the hands of the Commission, with a responsibility from central government to provide logistics. So if we have an unincentivizing registration exercise, the responsibility rests on the Electoral Commission and the government in power, which is His Excellency President Akufo-Addo, who we believe, with his political party, is doing everything possible to disenfranchise a lot of people from registering. because we are of the political theory that the more people register, because of the hardship and the disenchantment against government, the higher the margin of defeat against the government. And so they will do everything possible to ensure that minimal number of people register, which is what we have seen on the ground. Beyond that, there have been a pocket of violence, which I know you will ask. Of course, yes, there have been a pocket of violence. That is before the police. I believe that the police will speak to which individuals were responsible for this violence. We in the NDC only did what it takes to defend the process, the credibility of the process, ensure that the process is not subverted, ensure that minors are not registered, ensure that foreigners are not brought in to come and register. That is what we did. And we have told the MPP that there is no way we would allow them under this sun to perpetrate any illegality in this exercise. And we have said them, we are going to just start transfer, which is one of their rigging indicators, to transfer people from constituencies to other constituencies for the sake of maneuvering data. We are going to be up and strong and vigilant to ensure that if you are not qualified to transfer your vote, you will not transfer your votes. It is simplicity. The MPP can go and bend the sea. We will ensure that the right thing is done. That I can assure them. But his renditions as to me calling for violence and all of that, I don't have time to waste on the MPP. They are suffocating all of us with scandals and all of that. I'm tired this morning reading other scandals, so I'm not going to waste time with my brother talking about violence and all of that. I think that we must progress and commend the Electoral Commission for at least, taking us through the exercise. Apart from the fact that we know there are hidden elements at the headquarters of the the National Electoral Commission, who are under coaching by government and the MPP to rig the election. We are vigilant on them and their activities, but we are not scared. We will ensure that the process goes smoothly because we are actors and stakeholders of the process, so we know what to do.
Mustafa Gbande, there's been concerns about the registration process. Do the NDC also feel it should be extended?
We, at this point, the Electoral Commission, I indicated that the MPP will not call for extension because it plays into their game plan. We have made these calls from the day one. You remember we had this conversation where I told you that ideally registration should at least be decentralized to electoral areas in the minimum, in the list of it, so that people can register. The Electoral Commission disregarded it. We have said that, okay, then increase the number of registration centers. Electoral Commission did so, but not sufficient enough. Even places where we have agreed on hard-to-reach areas, the Electoral Commission eschewed those hard-to-reach centers to the advantage of the MPP. But even that, because they have lost popularity on the ground, it was not properly utilized. Now, the mandate, the Constitution directs the Electoral Commission to make registration accessible to all Ghanaians, and we have said that the manner in which the current registration is being done is unincentivizing, unmotivating, it is discouraging and cumbersome for the ordinary Ghanaian. So we know that. Number two, if you look at even Electoral Commission's own systems, the way it was not functioning, network problems, without a blemish from the ordinary Ghanaian, having to waste time spending in queues. Nobody should tell the Commission to do good by Ghanaians to extend more time for us to register. But I've stated that it is not all the places that we still have these queues, particularly in peri-urban areas, constituencies where we have a lot of settlements. You will see that the numbers are obviously very high still in the queues before the close of day. It is prudent that the Electoral Commission would have done something about it, but Jim Mensah doesn't listen. He only listens to President Akufo-Addo and his people. Meanwhile, we appreciate the numbers that we have had. We know that even if it is 10 people who have registered, 8 of them will vote for the NDC because they will vote on the basis of hardship, on the basis of getting hope, on the basis of the fact that they want to restore the sinking nation that we have under the MPP and President Akufo-Addo. So we are not perturbed at all. We will not call for that. The Electoral Commission knows what to do. We are focused on registration and preparation, on transfer and proxy, which is where the MPP want to play their games. We are vigilant and we have told our party people not to sleep. ensure that anyone that is not qualified to transfer their vote is prevented from doing so. That we will ensure that we do.
Bande, Deputy General Secretary of the NDC. Unfortunately, we've run out of time. We also had Haruna Mohammed, who is the Deputy General Secretary for the NPP. Let's do some other stories now. To support the fight against malaria, Mitsui Chemicals Crop and Life Solutions has launched a new product called Vectron T500 to assist existing vector control products. And now, according to the director of Vector Control Group, the Vectron T500 is efficient and it will help improve Ghana's fight against malaria. There's more in this report.
Ghana's malaria elimination fight has received a boost through the introduction of a new indoor residual spray called Vectron T500. The Vectron T500, produced by Mitsui Chemicals Crop and Life Solutions, is a non-repellent, odorless and stainless formulation with low toxicity to mammals aimed at aiding the fight against malaria. In an interview, Director of Vector Control Group, Takeo Meizawa, said the product will complement existing vector control products in use.
This new product, Vectron T500, has a novel active ingredient, different mode of action from existing product, which means it can offer very stable efficacy against resistant mosquito that developed resistance to existing product. And also Vectron T500 offers a very long residual efficacy, which can we expect up to 12 months, which can cover enough time to cover malaria transmission. And also, product has very odorless, stainless features, which is really, we believe, user-friendly.
British High Commissioner to Ghana, Harriet Thompson, pledged the continuous commitment of the UK government towards helping Ghana eliminate malaria.
Since 2017 alone, the UK has supported product development partnerships to bring over 34 products to market, helping to tackle diseases such as malaria, tuberculosis, neglected topical diseases and meningitis. And the UK will continue to support Ghana to strengthen its health systems to tackle malaria and other diseases. We will help to support primary health care, to establish an integrated framework for assuring Ghana's health security, to strengthen generation and use of data for effective decision-making, and to build strategic partnerships, including with civil society. From Boku to Axim, from Lara to Accra, focusing on the most vulnerable children and pregnant women, the UK assures Ghana of its commitment to malaria elimination.
The new Vectron T500 rollout will begin in the Obuasi municipality.
You're watching News Desk. We're taking a break. We'll be back with business to stay.
Hi, welcome to Business. My name is Ablakwa. President of the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport, Engineer Mark Amwama, is calling on practitioners in the transport and logistics sector to do their work efficiently. According to him, the inefficiencies and gaps when undertaking logistics and distribution operations force end users to incur additional costs. He was speaking at the 2024 Logistics and Distribution Management Workshop.
The Logistics and Distribution Management Workshop, organized by the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport, focused on building the capacity of members in managing logistics functions and assets, physical distribution operations, and customer value to gain competitive advantage through optimizing distribution networks. In an interview with Joy Business, President of the Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport, Engineer Mark Amwama, cautioned practitioners to ensure efficiency in their logistics and distribution processes.
You realize that I used our custom clearance systems, I used our transportation systems, I used even our own personnel, the efficiency with which they actually give out their best in terms of the various logistics activities. In fact, starting from the sourcing, continuing with the production, packaging, transportation, and of course, the distribution, where the actual we've identified that at the end of the day, the various costs, because we don't do this very efficiently and effectively. The final cost builds up to the final consumer. In fact, when you keep your goods at the port, after a certain number of time, you pay the mortgage, you pay that and all that. In fact, an importer who has gone through that will just pass on the cost to the customer, the final consumer. What do we say? We say things are expensive. We try to blame and all that, yeah. So these are some of the inefficiencies that we want to come here to address.
The Chartered Institute of Logistics and Transport is the leading international professional body associated with logistics and transport.
Now, advocates across Africa are calling for a paradigm shift in the way women's contributions are viewed in the activism space. According to them, women's role in the advancement of causes such as social justice in the extractives industry cannot be overemphasized. This was highlighted at the Africa Regional Conference on Women in Energy Movement building, where women leaders from Uganda, DR Congo, Kenya, Tanzania, and Nigeria converged here in Accra. Here's more in this report filed by Joy News' Kenneth Aotridako.
The women came from different faith communities to present how the activities of their respective governments and corporations in the fossil fuel and extractive sectors are contributing to environmental decay. At the event organized by Green Faith and SYND Ghana, they shared personal stories of how institutional and socio-cultural bottlenecks have stifled their efforts to seek justice.
If the government can help us by either stopping this or making it in a very, in another way, like we can mine, but organize the water, like do it in a way that it will not harm the community. Because right now, when they finish the mining, they just leave the water to travel in the community. So it goes to affect all other water bodies. And that is killing us slowly.
As women, we have a lot of challenges, and one of them is cultural challenges. I can say somehow religious challenges, but religion, I think, is being stereotyped because as Muslims, the religion has really protected women, but there are a lot of stereotypes in the community that pulls women down. So one of them is a lot of women are very poor in my community, and there's also lack of education. And then people think like activists should only be men. So women are not supposed to be activists. They're supposed to be in the house cooking and taking care of the children in the house.
Addressing journalists, Global Director for Programs at Green Faith, Marine Wara, lamented that too many women are being sidelined in this struggle.
And that's all for this segment. More news on our website, myjoyonline.com/business. The news returns after this break.
Well, that's it for News Desk. For more news, please log on to myjoyonline.com. Some of the top stories there. Company awarded 5G contract was formed a week ago before Akufo-Addo's approval. That's coming from Manasseh Azuri. He's making that allegation. We're expanding that on Gen today when my colleague Aisha Ibrahim comes your way with the news at 12. My name is Faustina Safa. For more news, you know the place to be, myjoyonline.com. Have a pleasant day as you enjoy the rest of our programs.